What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the review video of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. I mean, try to say that 5 times fast. I dares you. So, just a disclaimer before we get into it, this video is going to have some spoilers. That's right, spoiler alert. But I'm not going to go through the whole campaign page for page. All right, so it's just going to have some spoilers. And also, this is just on the campaign. It's just on what we did on the YouTube series here. All right, so I'm not going to go into a review on multiplayer. I'm not going to go into a review on zombies or any of the Easter eggs therein. And then I'm also not going to go into how it ties into Warzone with gun mechanics and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. If you guys do want to see stuff like that, let me know. I'm be glad to put those videos together. But this one is just on Cold War, the campaign. And let's just kind of roll into a little bit of intro. Roll it. Okay, here we go, dude. Whew. All right, little jazzers. Whoa, check out that hair. Oh my gosh, dude. What is happening right now? I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to use this clip because of the
We must realize
music.
that no
Okay,
arsenal or no weapon in the arsenals of the world is so formidable
that is
as the
former
will and
President
moral courage
Ronald
of
Reagan.
free men and women. It is a weapon our adversaries in today's world do not have.
Fun fact,
Let
that was the
be
first
understood
president I
by those who
remember as a
practice
kid.
terrorism and prey upon their neighbors.
I'm an old man,
Some
baby.
U.S. intelligence analysts believe America is already in a state of war with the Soviet Union.
Are Soviet spies
This
living
is
among us?
nuts.
52 American citizens
Is
have
this
been taken
actual
hostage
like
at the
footage?
American
Like this is
embassy in
actual
Tehran.
like news
An
footage?
unnamed White House official claims that a Cold War
my
disaster
gosh.
could be just around the corner.
Perseus. The CIA's analysts consider him to be the single largest threat to the free world.
You've been given an important task. Protecting our very way of life from a great evil.
The United States and its allies slowly consume that which is dear to us.
We are hours away from Perseus detonating nuclear bombs in every major European city.
We'll do whatever it takes. Some of us will cross the line
Oh
to
my
make sure the line's
gosh,
still there in the morning.
What?
No one's gonna brand us heroes or villains. They don't know us. As for me, I've been chasing this ghost for 13 years.
Let's
That ends now.
go. Great scene. Oh man, that'll get your heart pumping for sure. Now, for those of you who have seen my other review videos, what we do is we do a lot of video game let's plays, campaign storylines, things of that nature. And after a game has been finished, we do a review breakdown of the game. And here are the credentials that I grade on. We go with graphics, storyline, controls, and then an overall score. All these are out of 10. So, and then I go over the positives and negatives. So let's start off with the positives of the game. Starts off, as you guys saw from that little intro, it starts off with real world footage. This stuff actually happened. You know, we got a lot of kiddies nowadays playing these games, and like they may not remember, you know, all this stuff. They probably weren't even alive for this stuff. But this is real world footage, so it kind of ties in everything and kind of makes the game feel more real, more tangible, which I really enjoyed. And again, these real events back the fiction. You know, during Cold War, there was a myth about a mythical being called Perseus and all that. So like kind of real, not real scenario. I thought that was a really nice touch how they worked that in there. Another positive is you have free choice in some of the dialogues. Let me show you what I mean. You know, so you can pick, you know, different responses to questions throughout the game, right? And some of those responses, how you answer certain questions, will have different results. So I thought that was really interesting that they put that in there. Um, what you do in game, because you could go a couple routes here actually affect what happens late game. So again, super interesting, nice little addition to the game. I thought, tip of the cap to the game devs on that. There is a nice twist of the overall flow of the story. And what I mean by that is it's very difficult. Again, spoiler alert coming up, guys. So if you haven't played it, spoiler alert. Um, it's a nice little twist where you don't really get to see too many stories where the hero, quotes, hero, wink, um, becomes the villain, or maybe not becomes, but has always been the villain. Kind of going under the radar. So that was a nice little plot twist that I didn't really see coming until the end. So that kept the campaign flow going. It kept me wanting to keep going each mission to kind of figure it out because you think you're on one track over here, but psych, the villain walks among you. So Adler, got my eye on you, buddy. All right, don't like your style. Um, the game has a lot of fun sniper scenes. In my opinion, every COD game or any war game or whatever, it's always judged by how well you do the sniper scene. And this game has a cool sniper scene, but then also has little fun missions, right? Where you could play it as a sniper if you wanted to, but you also don't have to. So like the freedom of how you play this game is up to you, and I thought that was really a great way to kind of do it. It makes the game playable for a lot of different styles. So let's say you're not like the best sniper, right? Or you don't enjoy sniping. Well, fine. You do your main sniper mission or whatever. But then for the rest of the game, you don't really have to snipe. You can be all sneaky, if you wanted to. So like the option to play the game in different styles was a plus for me. Um, let's see what else. Also, they included mini games, and I'll show you what I mean. There are mini games inside the game in the arcade cabinets. I'm gonna have to mute some audio because of copyright infringement and stuff like that. But you can play arcade minigames throughout this world if you find them, and I thought that was super interesting. Now there's a lot of action going on, so you don't have time to kind of sit there and like play these mini games straight, to the finish. But again, a really fun touch. Um, the safe house or the hub was unique. I thought that was really cool. There's a lot of action going on there. You can interact with each of the characters, have different dialogues just to enrich their character development and backstory and history. You have the board there, and we'll get to this in a second about the side missions. But the safe house in general, I thought was done really well. Where, again, lots of movement. You get briefed on the next mission, and then it's kind of a free roam where you can explore a ton of stuff in the safe house. And then that brings me up to my last positive side of the game is the side missions. Again, they're taking Call of Duty and kind of expanding the mindset, right? So before it was a running gun, you shoot, you got to shoot your way out, and that's how you played Call of Duty, because it is a shooter in its sense, right? In its base core, Call of Duty, a shooter game, FPS, right? But this game with its side missions, way more stealth. It's about collecting intel. It's about cracking codes, solving puzzles. So I thought that was really interesting as well. Again, they're broadening up the way you can play the game. So if you're not super into just hardcore violence and just shooting your way out of every situation, you can do the side missions and be stealth and collect data and be like this kind of ninja and like crack codes and things of that nature. There's a lot of discoverability and again, tons of replayability. Replayability, is that a word? Replayability? I don't know, but the replay value in this game is high. All right. So that's going to end my positives for the game. Right. Now let's get into the negatives. And again, the negatives only on the campaign. All right. So negatives. The campaign is short. I think if you were a dedicated gamer, you could knock this out in one afternoon. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? Super short campaign, but the missions are fun. So, kind of a plus minus there. Now, I just said that you had the free choices in the dialogues, in the positives, all right? And now here is where the free choices are negatives as well. Spoiler alert, you can have free choices or the illusion of free choices in your dialogues and how you respond. But some of the dialogues will continue to kind of like equivocate until you pick a certain answer. And then the story moves forward. So, is it really free choice? No, it is not. Does it give you the illusion of free choice? Yes. Are there tons of dialogues that you can have? Yes. But ultimately, when you have your free choice dialogues, it pretty much equivocates you down to a certain choice to move the narrative forward in that particular lane. So, great idea with the free choice or the multiple choice in the dialogues. I think they could have maybe put some different avenues to walk down instead of equivocating just to one and then you move forward with the narrative. Um, Here's one for me. As great as the campaign was and how fun it was, it's completely forgettable, in my opinion. There's not enough great moments that kind of hold you into it. Yes, they bring back, some classic characters, characters we kind of grew up invested in the game with. They bring them back, and I'm going to touch on those characters in a second. But um, for me, played the campaign through. It was fun. It was cool. There wasn't anything that kind of tugged on my heartstring to be like, this is something that should be remembered. So maybe you guys play through it and have a different experience. This is just my opinion. Laggy cutscenes, big negative. Laggy cutscenes, and the game crashing. And this has to go with my next point, but it seemed like almost every cutscene I had to record some of these episodes a few times over because of laggy cutscenes. I'm just like, what is happening? I thought it was me. I was going insane, but in fact, did some research. A lot of people were experiencing some laggy cutscenes. Now I say that, but there have been a ton of patches, a ton of updates, mainly to the multiplayer, which I'm not going to touch on, but I believe that the cutscenes are now working properly and all that stuff. So, but I felt it was something I needed to point out. Now, with the laggy cutscenes, this game was rushed, 100% rushed. All right, and I pulled up the Call of Duty history. Since 2003, they've been pumping it out a game a year up until 2009, I believe, or 2010 was Black Ops. Right, 2010 was Black Ops. Now from then, Black Ops was every 3 years, like clockwork. You had 2012. Um, or wait a minute. You had 2012, Black Ops 2, and then 2015, Black Ops 3, 2018, Black Ops 4. So, and then they rushed it 2 years to 2020. That was Cold War. Now, I think they could have taken an extra year to kind of fine tune the game, and I think the game would have been fantastic. Did they? Obviously, they did not. They just rushed it out 2 years, and they were like, okay, you know what? People will buy it and we'll just fix it with patches. So I hope this isn't the beginning of the end for Activision and Treyarch and all these guys, Raven, Beanox, Infinity Ward, of going down this terrible path of money over quality. But it seems like it is, and again, this is just my opinion on the matter. Um, Again, something else that really messed up this game, I think, was that Sledgehammer and Raven were supposed to be the main guns underneath this title. And then halfway through, they were having issues. So they pulled in Treyarch, and Treyarch kind of started to rework things, right? So that, I think, added to the chaos of the game and having this unfinished, unpolished product burst and rush out to an unsuspecting public. So again, it seems like there's some internal issues within these companies that needs to be figured out, and hopefully they do for the next release. But again, calling in another developer halfway through a game's development and then just to rush it out, I think really was this game's downfall in a lot of ways. Now, let's go into the characters, right? Now, I could go off on a whole other episode on just the characters and what they did to these characters and yada yada. But just a brief negative on this. Okay, and it's kind of a positive too, right? Because they did bring back the characters. That's the positive. They bring back these characters that we know and we love and we've been through a lot with. But they replaced all the voice actors. These are new voice actors doing this. This is insane to me. Maybe they couldn't get the contracts or they couldn't, but in my mind, and again, my opinion, this is just speculation too. Speculation. I just think they were just trying to save some money. So they just like, yeah, we'll just replace you, blah blah blah. So these are new voice actors doing this. And also, just to touch on it, I'm not going to go into zombies, but after this game they released the voice actors for zombies. So it's clear to me that this company has or these companies, I should say, because I'm going to group them in one thing, have no regard for any loyalty, right? They'll just replace you. That's the signal that it's saying to me on this. So that's my last negative of they brought back cool characters we love, but then they just replaced the voice actors. So it's just like, what are we doing? Right? And now let's get into the numerical value. Drum roll, please. Okay, so graphics on this game, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. An 8 out of 10. It was everything to be expected from let's call it a Treyarch COD. The graphics were everything that you would expect from a Treyarch COD. Kind of detailed, kind of blocky. It's not like a Modern Warfare where like details are gorgeous graphically. So this did have the feel of a Treyarch COD. So graphically, 8 out of 10. Storyline, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Giving this thing a 9 out of 10. I thought the campaign was great. Story-wise, a lot of twists, a lot of turns, bringing in real-world things into the fiction world was absolutely fantastic. So 9 out of 10 on that. And then the controls, how intuitive are the controls? And this is a little bit of bias. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 because I've been playing COD for a very long time. So these controls are secondhand nature to me at this point. But again, for a beginner or someone who's just getting into COD, the controls are very easy to understand. There's not a ton of combos. There's not a ton of weird combinations or button movements that you need to do if you're playing on controller. Keyboard, you can pretty much hotkey whatever you want, so there's no issue there. So controls, 9 out of 10. Overall score for this game, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, I'm giving it an 8.6 out of 10. It's a good game. And again, this 8.6 out of 10 only refers to the campaign story. Even though it does have some glitches, some hiccups, the game has been rushed. I'm giving it an 8.6 out of 10. It's a good game. I think it is worth getting. If you don't have it, I think it's worth at least one playthrough, if not more. And there's a lot of things to discover and a lot of things to explore in this game. So I hope you guys do, and I hope you guys like this video. So that's going to be it for the review of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, 8.6 out of 10. A very good score, a very high score, actually. And if you guys like this video, if you guys want to see more review videos, hit me with that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and ring a ding ding that bell for notifications so you guys don't miss out on any of the action happening here at Retroezbake. And again, just a little shout out. I do stream on Twitch Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Love to see you guys in chat for some live interactions. Anyhow, that's going to do it for me. Peace out and be good, everybody.